Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom. Um, Before I started recording this, which I'm recording this currently on the 19th of July, I saw that Tonkasaw is streaming again. He might have been streaming for a few days. I just randomly caught him in my recommendations. And it made me think, after just hearing him talk for about an hour or so while I was doing something else, it made me think about internet blood sports and what they had. Now, I'm sorry, this is gonna be a little bit off subject. Not talking about DSP, but it should go by rather quickly, hopefully. But it made me think about internet blood sports and what internet blood sports had. You know what I mean? Like when you think about Andy Worski, when you think about the Morning Kumite, when you think of Tonkasaw and Failure, which is basically the Morning Kumite, when you think about Baked Alaska, which he's kind of a meme at this point, and what they kind of had there, V falls in that a little bit, or at least later on. They had a really great concept, and it's kind of scary that it fell apart in a couple months. You know what I mean? Like it didn't take long. After what happened with the Kraut and T situation, you guys can check Almighty, or you guys can check out Mr. Midaker for that, because he covers the whole Kraut and T situation, which led to kind of like the birth of internet blood sports. And then it had a great run for like 3 or 4 months. A whole bunch of money was made. Even more money could have been made, and then it just kind of just crumbled. It was like, shit, man, that sucks. And anyway, so I'm listening to Tonkasaw or Morning Kumite stream, which and I was thinking to myself, Tonkasaw had some really good points back then, in that you guys can let all the pettiness go for the sake of business. You know what I'm saying? All that can be hashed out, can be ironed out behind the scenes, meaning Worski and JF. You know what I'm saying? But you have to keep the image together. You have to keep the public image together moving forward, because if not, it crumbles everything. So when I really think about it, looking back at the situation, Andy Worski was like the keystone to all of that. You know what I mean? So when that situation fell apart, everything else kind of slowly crumbled too. You know what I mean? Like if they had held it together a little bit longer, to where it expanded and kind of diversified itself out, it could have, then one man or one show even didn't have to be the linchpin. It could have sustained itself and kept going. So with the Morning Kumite back, hopefully Tonkasaw gets back to him and Failure. I'm not sure if him and Failure, if Failure still does a show, but hopefully they can get back to where they need to be, and hopefully they can bring internet blood sports back to where it needs to be. Because you got to understand, it's still a completely untapped market. They hadn't even touched the surface of what could have been. And I know in some circles people think, oh, the time's already passed, but I really feel like there's a lot there. But not just that, there's spin-offs. Like I was talking to Jackal's Lair about this, where same concept as the Morning Kumite or the the Worski podcast or whatever the case may be, but you guys could go over different subjects as it pertains to games, comics, movies, whatever. Just have two opposing sides on any argument. Doesn't have to be political. Could be anything. Could be social. Could be about games, movies, like I said, whatever. And bring them together and just let them kind of go at it. I mean, keep it concise. Keep it reasonable. But have two opposing sides just kind of come together and argue it out. And even at the end of the day, if they don't come to any type of conclusion, fine. But, people get their entertainment. Some good points are made on both sides. There you go. And then a couple weeks later, you can do it again. Anyway, I presented that idea to Jackal's Lair. We'll see what if he decides to go around and do anything with it. But I'm certainly thinking about my own variation of it down the line. So that might be cool. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So shouts out to Tonkasaw on that one. That was like I said, getting to hear him out and whatnot. Kind of really was kind of rather inspiring. Also, shouts out to Andy Worski. I hope he's all right, man. Like I don't know what happened the other night on stream. I might do a quick video on it, but that was That was something. That's all I'll say about that. That was something. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get to the Dave aspect of it. Let's see what's on the agenda. We are here with Snort Burnell, as well as Mr. Huffstuffs. DsPgaming, massively strong contradictions. That's just another day in the life. A KOJIMA fan, which we all knew that. Oh boy. See, this is why I love Snort Burnell. And admitting that the forums were hacked. Woohoo! Baby! The contradiction part, we'll just get into that when the video starts. Let's not worry about that too much. Him being a KOJIMA fanboy, we all know about that. It is what it is. The website getting hacked, or the forums, I'm sorry, the forums getting hacked. Oh yes. Oh yes. Blood for the blood god. This is a rather pivotal moment in the DSP story, or the Tractor Ball Z, Tractor Ball Super, whatever you want to call it. At least for this year, because the forums getting hacked was part of a much bigger saga, even though most people break it up. That right there was in conjunction with the Escort saga. This was when Brightside Viking decided to go ahead and go at Kiwi Farms, which was special, just absolutely special. Which that's actually interesting in itself too, because lately on Twitter, at least I saw that last night, so that would have been on the 18th. There is apparently Phil has decided to go at Brightside Viking directly. I don't know if that was actually on the forums or whatnot. It might have been. It might have been on the forums, or it was on Twitter. 1 to 2. Might have been the forums though. And Brightside Viking was basically telling his side as it pertains to him getting banned off Twitter, or sorry, off Twitch, after that whole bloodletting situation, and after the hacking of DSP's forums, which never happened, by the way. No one was ever compromised, as Dave said. Well, he was saying his side of the story, and Dave basically comes in and was like, no, that's not what happened. I kept telling you to stop going over there, stop going over there, stop going over there. And basically, he didn't actually call Brightside Viking this, but basically he was like, you're a rabid dog, and you ran over there and you just kept, you know what I'm saying, antagonizing those people. And then they eventually ended up coming over and compromising us all. So his admission, so to speak, was actually in that particular post, which was amusing to say the very least. Now, who's right and who's wrong, and who got Brightside Viking taken off of Twitch, it's hard to say. I kind of leaned on the side that Dave sold him out to save his own ass, because that's what Dave does. Then again, Brightside Viking doesn't exactly have the best track record and whatnot, so it's kind of a toss-up. Excuse me, but I kind of lean towards Brightside Viking, that Dave sold him out. Could be personal bias though. Could be. As a newsman, as a news dog in a you know, fancy tight suit, you know, I should be transparent about that. In any case, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's see what Dave has to say about all of this nonsense, and hopefully we're starting your afternoon, your morning, or your evening off right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
In a very, very honest way, I just want to let you guys know, thanks for the money, dummies, because that's exactly what you fucking are, a bunch of fucking empty-headed idiots who paid me money to get absolutely nothing out of it. Thanks. Wow.
That's a proud moment there.
Very, very tight financially this last week, and because I had an increase of pledges on Patreon, it basically saved my butt. If it weren't for Patreon, I probably would have been screwed and had my bank account overdrafted and a bunch of problems. But you guys basically helped me out tremendously. So thank you guys very much for that. I do appreciate it, okay? I love begging. Hey, money is money. One thing I think about, money is money. Yeah, and that's how I am. That's the kind of person I am. I am one of the most prolific people out there that does this. Phil's just one of the worst e-beggars. Blatantly stolen.
It's blatant theft.
It's seriously blatant theft. Like, what on earth? I'm tired. Basically, I'm tired of people complaining. The free stream's too long when I don't control that. It's up to the people who participate on the streams to determine the length of the pre-stream.
Stop. Okay, first things first. this whole pushback, and I've spoken about this in videos before, because eventually it was going to happen. This whole pushback on the pre-streams was inevitable. It was always going to happen. The pre-streams are just too damn long. And the thing is he's been talking about the length of pre-streams for years now. He had said that when he moved to Washington that the pre-streams were going to be shorter. He said 10, 15 minutes, we're into the game. Now, I think it's because Phil has isolated himself from just about everybody that the pre-streams are really just a way for him to vent. It really is. It's a way for him to vent. It's a way for him to talk about his life or what little that happens within it, to make himself feel important, to try to rally as much sympathy as possible before he gets into a game or games that he doesn't even want to play. The pre-streams are useless, to be honest. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, there's great information in there if you're a detractor, but overall, there's nothing really useful if you're a fan. You sitting through an hour plus pre-stream is kind of ridiculous. And for a while, the pre-streams were getting crazy. They were starting to get into that hour and a half type situation. And let me be honest with you. If the pre-streams could be 2 hours, he would make them 2 hours. If he thought he could get away with it, he will. Now, do I think around the holidays, do I think the pre-streams will get longer? I think so. I think so, because he has to push the narrative on how much money he needs and how much support he needs around this time and so on and so forth. Just like he did last year. So the pre-streams will get longer eventually. But I'm at least happy that you're seeing some pushback from his fan base on it. But to be honest, it allows Phil to feel important. It's Phil's stream focused on Phil specifically for that little bit of time. It's all eyes on him, so to speak. Even though usually he doesn't have his webcam on. And that's probably for a good reason, given Phil's history and whatnot, before it becomes the game. Because before the focus is really on the game. And then Phil tries to interject himself into that also. And tries to make himself the center of attention by looking at the chat and micromanaging on what they're talking about in there. Which is just absolutely silly. Anyway, just my opinion. DSP News.
Thumbs fucking down for me.
Finnanut 90, what a name, did a 45-bit cheer, and he says, Persona 5 hype. Also, I have a question. How would you react if someone in real life would give you a quarter? Would you answer their question? No. Because I would just answer their question probably with no problem. I don't need a quarter to answer a question. I don't need a quarter to answer a question now. I frequently interact with my stream chat without only reading people who contribute. That's just bullshit you hear from...
What? No. He only does... Well, I wouldn't say only. I don't know. I actually have to say that if he really does address anyone specifically without them contributing money to him, it's usually because they talking shit. Or it's usually because they're saying something that he perceives as talking shit. Because he's real good at that. He's real good at eagle-eyeing negative, comments. Very rarely will he actually say, well, that's not true. If your crown is shiny enough, if you have enough little shiny trinkets next to your name, maybe you can get a question out of him without paying any money. But for the average Joe Blow, that's probably not happening.
People who are jealous that I'm successful on Twitch.
What? I'm good at lying. I'm hypocritical. Very hypocritical. I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life. Disgusting beggar.
Shout out to Third Eye the Third, who cheered and said, imagine if you had never played Metal Gear Solid, how much different would life be? I don't know.
It's not like I ever played a game, and because I played a game, I got into massive trouble or anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's never really happened. So it's not like I massively regret anything like that, you know?
That's actually a great question. That, quite frankly, that's actually a great question. Because it really was, when I played the Metal Gear Solid trilogy of games, and remember that Metal Gear Solid collection that came, actually I take it back, it was 2 and 3. Because later on I did play Metal Gear Solid 1, but that was separate. When I played 2 and 3, when I played it from that HD collection, and basically, just like I do with every other playthrough I've ever done at that point, I made fun of the game developers like KOJIMA, and I made fun of the games, I did observational kind of raunchy style commentary when the women were on the screen, and all the shit that I used to do constantly in my playthroughs, and by the way, that's what got
raunchy and racist are two separate things, though. I don't know if Phil knows that.
me popular on YouTube. For some reason, when I did the exact same kind of commentary and gameplay style over Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, it really incensed the internet. And I don't mean everyone on the internet. I mean those people who sadly cannot separate reality from fantasy on his journey. You know, I wish that my life could be stripped of all responsibility.
Most of them were your fans. Like, you gotta understand that, like, the people who he got the most pushback from were fans of his. And just couldn't, and well, didn't really want to, I should say, deal with the disrespect that came from it. But to be honest, I don't know if it was just the fact that it was Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3. It could have been any game, to be honest with you, that Phil could have disrespected, and it would have turned into a problem, given enough time. You know what I mean? It just happened that Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 was his ace of spades that just didn't work out for him. But in truth, it could have been any game that could have really started the, you know, basically the hailstorm that turned into the vortex that it is now, given enough time. But let's continue.
Be teleported to a fantasy world where I could just do whatever I want.
Oh yeah, I'll never get a job or pay taxes.
Who think that, like, Metal Gear Solid is the golden goose of gaming. It's the biggest franchise ever. It's created the best gameplay experiences ever. It's good as a casual game as well as a hardcore game. You should worship Kojima as your overall, you know, game development god and yada yada yada. And the thing is, it's not that I dislike the game.
No one said you had to worship him, but you damn sure have to respect him, just like anybody else. But Phil's not good at that. That's why he used to threaten game developers and game writers back in the day. You know, when they didn't conform to his viewpoints and his opinions. Just saying.
It's actually not that I dislike Kojima. In fact, over time, I've learned a lot of respect for Kojima as a game developer.
It's like the biggest hypocritical thing on the planet. I mean, it's out of control.
I'm very much looking forward to Death Stranding, his new game. And, you know, I felt really bad when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out and was such a good game but was completely unfinished, and saw how he got screwed over, saw how Konami got rid of him and he couldn't do Silent Hills. I really respect Kojima now. But back then, it was really the first games I'd ever played that had come from Hideo Kojima.
Sounds like him trying to play both sides. Death Stranded, I think he's going to end up quitting that game. Excuse me. I think he's going to end up quitting it. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay in there for the long haul. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I'm not going to jinx him or anything. But I don't have a lot of hope. I really don't have a lot of hope for him. I really don't. Kat has a better chance of finishing that game before he does. Hopefully, he takes the leash off her and lets her actually start streaming and actually putting up YouTube videos. I mean, I guess there's nothing holding her back from a YouTube video. Just get her an Elgato or something. But it'll definitely be a while until he lets her stream. Unless they're streaming together so he can micromanage the chat to make sure they don't ask her anything or make sure they don't trick her into slipping up. Because she definitely looks vulnerable as it pertains to that chat. I saw a little bit of the IRL stream that they had recently. Jesus Christ, she's just locked in on what people say in that chat. I never thought paranoia, well, cabin fever, basically. Like, the paranoia just spread. And it did quickly. Jesus Christ, that's a shame.
The only experience I had with Metal Gear Solid was 4, which in my opinion was a game that was way too overblown with cutscenes and the like. And basically when I played the Metal Gear Solid games, people lost their shit. And that's really where the "this is how you don't play" movement completely spawned from.
Oh, here's a guy who's a buffoon.
playing Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, and I literally say at the beginning of those playthroughs, I've never played these games before, I don't know anything about them, and I'm probably going to suck. This isn't like a super serious playthrough. I say that up front, and then these idiots take these videos, right, to make fun of me, because I literally did in the gameplay what I said I was going to do when I set out with those videos. And those videos ended up becoming virally popular, and from there it just ballooned into, Phil's bad at every game, Phil's bad at life, Phil's an awful person, Phil's a pedophile, Phil's this.
Well, actually, it was Phil's response to it, which really what gave which was one of the driving forces behind This Is How You Don't Play. When he was sitting there trying to get the video suppressed behind the scenes, like for example, the original This Is How You Don't Play, I think it's Metal Gear Solid 2, which is done by Evil AJ. That's not the original that you see online right now. Isn't actually the original. That one was taken down. The one that you see now is a re-upload, if I remember correctly. Just no one really knows when the original was taken down, except for obviously Evil AJ himself. And so it was Phil trying to suppress information and doing that through machinima and whatnot, which is he's known for. He still does it now. He just goes about it in different ways. Is one of the reasons why people kept doing it. He allowed it to bother him, to hurt him, if you will. And because of that, people kept doing it. And the more and more he responded poorly, is the more and more we see these rage compilations. This is one of the reasons why people watch his pre-streams now. Because he lets every little thing piss him off. He lets every little thing hurt him. So if you think about it, what he says and whatnot, what he says is what fuels his pre-streams. What people say about his pre-streams fuels Phil's anger, which in turn comes right back to the pre-streams. So it's almost like it's an endless circle in a lot of ways. And Phil just never learned how to adapt to it. Point blank.
Phil's that. It's just insane amounts of slander and just defamation on the internet based off of me playing Metal Gear Solid. And it's ridiculous that it went to the levels and extent that it did. At least now in the modern era, it's definitely calmed down a lot. In general, I am experiencing, a level of success here on Twitch and having a lot of fun with it. But good luck on YouTube even finding any of my videos without seeing 25 videos saying that I'm the worst person on the planet Earth beforehand. Because that's how YouTube is, the piece of shit. So this is a very interesting question too. If I had never played Metal Gear Solid, what if I had never done it, right? What would have happened? I don't know. Maybe I would have stayed on the level that I was on YouTube. I still think, even if This Is How You Don't Play and all these negative, disgusting people did nasty shit against me, even if all that didn't exist, okay, I do still strongly believe there would have been a decline on my YouTube channels, okay, because I was the kind of person, I still am, that I'm stubborn in my ways. I want to play games the way that I want to play them. I just mentioned, I did a formal review of very professional...
That's enough right there. So, as it pertains to Phil not playing Metal Gear Solid, it doesn't matter. Another game would have just taken its place. Pure and simple. Or eventually, he would have played Metal Gear Solid. It just would have come later on. Period. At the end of the day, his end game, or what he's going through now, was kind of inevitable for him. It was always going to end up this way. Whether it was Metal Gear, or whether it was another game, whether it was a cluster of other games. You know what I mean? Maybe, if it wasn't Metal Gear, as I said, maybe that situation with Panda and her talking about Kingdom Hearts would have been the catalyst to start it. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't one or two games. Maybe it was a cluster of games. Maybe it was like 5 or 6 games that accumulated and whatnot, and people were like, alright, we're going to attack him off these 5 games, instead of just the 2 that essentially started it all. Eventually, it was still going to happen. Now, the severity of it is the real question. If it, think about it. If Phil never had that This Is How You Don't Play made in the year that it was made, what if it was done 2 or 3 years later? Would it still had its impact? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, to be honest with you, it's still going to lead to the end game he's at now. Like I said, just the severity of it would have been slightly different. But, you know what I'm saying? I can't see that far. I could try, though. I might think about that one day.
Level review that got 1 million views. I could have kept doing that and focused on that and kept that going. But I choose to be a gamer first and do this for a living second. I want to play stuff that I enjoy. I want to
another
share...
thing. that safety hug box that he has over there on Twitch, which is basically what it is. It's not gonna last for him forever. You know what I mean? It really isn't. Eventually, Phil's gonna have to bleed. You know what I mean? Like, he already has 2 bans on him. I don't think they've actually gone away. Like, they're still on him. Kind of like if you have a copyright strike on YouTube. But even if they do come off, he's still on his 2nd offense. A 3rd one's going to be a problem if it's still within the time span of violation, which is like, I think it's like 90 days, something like that. You might get some clarification from Tevin. Praise be Almighty. Something along those lines. So all he's doing is trying to skim through until he can, kind of get off that waiting period, and then he thinks he's going to be okay again. And when Phil thinks he's okay, when Phil knows he doesn't have anything tied to his back, is when he basically shows his ass and becomes an asshole again, which he'll just get hit with the violations yet again. How long will Twitch continue to protect this man? And despite the money that is brought in from cheers and bits and all that, is he really worth it? Is he really worth the trouble? Only time can tell.
Experiences with you guys, I want this to feel like an organic, fun experience, because if I'm not having fun playing games, then what's the fucking point, right?
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money that I gotta spend.
I don't ever want this to become so bad into a job that I don't enjoy what I'm doing. That is really, I'm trying to live the dream, and that's what I've been doing for, 8 years now, that this has been actually I take it back 7 years, where this has actually been my job. And if I turn it into something that's not, if I make it, I play games, but I don't share those raw experiences. Instead, I'm just releasing montage videos of the best of, and I edit them so that everything's hilarious, and I put scripted overlays and comedy over them to make it look like a television show, and I put special doctored thumbnails and clickbait titles, and what everyone on YouTube did over the last 5 years to get popular, and I never did. So, if I had done that, I would have changed. I would have become a totally different person.
And that's true. He did it too. He made reaction videos, just like how he attacked other YouTubers. He did all of those things. All of those things. So what is he talking about? I like how he has that selective memory about shit. Because everything he shits on, he has done or he will do. Period. And that is the story of DsPgaming. You know what I mean? Anything that he shitted on, he will do or he already has done. And he's failed at it. And that's the part that hurts him the most. That he's failed at it. Where others came in and succeeded, he failed. So is life. DSP News.
That I didn't respect and wouldn't want to do what I do for a living anymore.
Silver-tongued talker, right? I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
But sadly, because I did not adhere to those practices, you saw my YouTube channels fall into decline, which they are. DsPgaming still gets between 1 and 2 million views a month.
When you see the true nature of a person...
At the time that I'm recording this, no, it don't. Oh, no. He dropped until like the 1.8s, 1.7s. So, yet again, he's been in steady... Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a man that at one time was getting like something like 15 million views a month years ago. Think about that fall from 15 million views a month. You know what I'm saying? About 13 to 15. Let's give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room here. To 1.8 million. That's insane. That's insane. And instead of changing up, right? Instead of doing what most people would do when their business are in decline, he just kept with the same MO. He kept with the same business plan in air quotes. And what happened? It just continued to fail, continued to flounder. Then he talked his way out of Machinima and whatnot, which, if it wasn't for that managed partnership, they probably would have dropped him anyway. And funny enough, Wings of Redemption actually brought this up because all them dudes were in managed partnerships too. They sat there and dropped a bunch of guys right around the time, maybe a little bit after Dave ended up getting dropped by Machinima. So it's possible it is possible, ladies and gentlemen, that DSP Gaming was going to get dropped from his managed partnership anyway. If he didn't talk his way out of that contract, he might have ended up getting dropped from Machinima when they did that purge, just like, you know, Maker Studios and the rest of those guys did. He probably would have gotten caught up in the purge anyway. Just saying. You know what I mean? Just something to point out there. Just some food for thought, if you will. Think about that. He could have prolonged his suffering a little bit longer until they were just ready to cut him. But instead, he had to talk out of his ass about a situation that he didn't know, nor did he understand, nor did Machinima know or understand, and he just saved them the trouble. There you go. DSP logic.
Is how they react when they're down or when they fail, not when they succeed. When someone fails and they're facing adversity, then the real person comes out. And that's how you determine the real mettle of someone, right? And who they really are.
But it's nowhere near, I mean, at its height, DSP Gaming used to bring in 10 million views a month. So I used to bring in over 5 times more than what I get now. Think about how crazy that is, right? But times change, right? Times change.
Look at those figures. Now, like I said, you know what I'm saying, when people, it's really, like I said, he was probably closer to about 15 million views a month at one time or another. But look at that. Look at just some of the calculations that Snort Burnell has brought to us. He's consistently in free fall. There's just not, it is what it is. Like I said, the man wanted to do things his own way, okay? He wants to do things on his terms. He's not about entertaining people. He's about doing what he wants and getting paid for it. And that's his philosophy up till this day, up to this moment. And it doesn't work. No one cares about what he wants. No one cares about his little hug box situation and what is entertaining and fun to him. You are there to entertain other people. Period. That's not hard. It really isn't. When he didn't care, as he says back in the day, he was able to make that happen in some strange, odd sort of way. Rather crude sort of way, to say the least. And then he gets hit with some adversity, and then all of a sudden he crumbles. It just kind of goes to show that you can't put certain people on pedestals. Probably shouldn't put anybody on a pedestal. Let them climb to it themselves. But you certainly can't put certain people on pedestals. Some people should really work for their success and whatnot, because maybe they'll appreciate it when they get to it. Dave is an example of someone who didn't. He didn't appreciate any of it. He let these people believe that it was coming to him, that he was deserving of it, that it was prophesized, if you will. And even if these people didn't tell him that, he himself made himself believe it. And that is a very dangerous aspect of Dave, which is something that he peddles to his fan base currently. Just saying. DSP News.
So, it is what it is. I still think my YouTube channels would have seen a decline, but I certainly don't think, if I never played the Metal Gear Solid videos, I don't think it would have been cool, alright, cool, for me to become basically the whipping boy of the internet, okay? The guy who every single day is the villain, the worst guy on the internet who doesn't deserve any success. I don't think that would have ever happened. I honestly don't. I think that it would have been maybe people, alright, this is the dinosaur guy who still plays games the old-fashioned way, but I don't think people would have been so negative against me. And quite frankly, I don't think that I would have ever been attacked like I was in the ways that I have been, and probably I'd be in a much better financial situation. I mean, who knows? Who knows what would have been different if I never played Metal Gear Solid? You know, I just don't know. Do you want to play the fucking game? It is what it is, I guess. You know, that's.
I don't know if he'd be in a better financial situation, because think about what he spent his money on. Like I said, when I start the series Gout and Wine, you'll see what I'm talking about, because we're going to go over it. We're going to go over DSP Tries This. And you're going to see some of the dumb shit he spent his money on. not just the fast food or whatever, but some of these little random knickknacks he bought. You're going to see that the bar that he had in Connecticut used to be empty and bare outside of a couple of notepads, just the shit that you would normally have in your bar. Unless, you're like us in the office and we just got liquor all over the place. That's different. But, we got an appreciation for stuff over here. Excuse me. But you see how the bar was kind of barren, and then as that money started trickling in, as his success, if you will, started to build up, then all of a sudden, huge Doctor Doom shit. Then all of a sudden you got all these different, statues and everything everywhere. Those same statues that are in that nook, that's like right across the hall from him, gathering dust, being broken at every, subtle movement. He would have still squandered his money, because at the end of the day, he needed recognition for where he was. And for Dave, that's spending his money. He's no different than most young rappers in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? How do people, in their mindset, how do they know that I have it if I can't flaunt it, if I can't spend it? You know what I mean? Which is hence the reason why a lot of them end up broke. Just like Dave. Rather ironic, to be honest with you. Especially, you know how Dave feels about people of other colors. Anyway, in any case, he would have still been in a really bad financial situation. The detractors didn't screw his money up, or didn't tell him what to spend his money on and what not to spend his money on. He did that all on his own. No detractor told him, hey, don't get a 401k, that's stupid. He did that on his own. Just saying.
So, like they say, hindsight is 20/20. If you look back and you say, oh, maybe if I had always avoided Metal Gear Solid and never played it until later on in my career, right, when I became more mature, I played games more seriously, and I didn't constantly make fun of shit, then maybe when I played those games, if I did them with a little bit more respect, if you're watching...
More mature? Treated games with more respect? What? You still rage quit games now. You still talk shit about games now. You still bitch and complain about games being too hard now. Come on, man.
Play Metal Gear Solid 5, that was a very different kind of playthrough than my original Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 playthroughs, okay? So maybe, if I'd done it like that from the get-go, I wouldn't have been such a derided and then later on hated person on the internet. But it's really fucking stupid to really think that all the shit people have done to me, the DDoS attacks, being fucking swatted, getting monstrous amounts of junk mail sent both physically to my house and also to my email addresses, the fact that people have called my utilities company to try to get my electricity and gas shut off, impersonating me.
The people have hacked my fucking forums. The people have hacked my fucking forums.
Oh boy. This is what we were waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Because remember, if you back to DSP lore, that never happened. I don't have... His website doesn't have any information except for your email address. They have nothing at all that could be hacked or that could compromise you. Nothing at all. The website wasn't even hacked. It was a minor attack, but nothing happened. They didn't get anything. So you guys have nothing to worry about. And if they did, they only got your email address, guys. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I've already thrown Brightside Viking to the wolves. He's already been tossed under the bus. He's already been a sacrifice to the blood god. He's bleeding out currently on the altar. You guys don't have to worry about it. You guys are safe here. You're safe. You're safe with Uncle Dave. Let the gout warm you, soothe you, comfort you. Jesus Christ.
What? What? Oh my god!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa!
I guess I'm not that smart. Man, I'm stupid. Hacked my accounts.
To try to get my personal information. They tried to destroy my YouTube channel in various different ways. They tried to get me kicked off of Twitch. All the things people have done against me all spawn from a fucking single game series.
It's not like I ever played a game, and because I played a game, I got into massive trouble or anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's never really happened. So it's not like I massively regret anything like that, you know?
What the fuck? If that doesn't tell you there's something wrong with a certain group of people, I don't know what does. Like, if you're such an insane fan of a certain game series, that because someone played the game wrong or made fun of the game developer, you now for the rest of your life are going to dog this person and try to hurt them? You've got something wrong with you.
Shout out to you-know-who, the guy whose name apparently is funny to say because it means something in a meme or something. Penne. Oh, penne pasta's great. I prefer penne because it's easier to eat. You gotta slurp it. It gets all over the sauce. There's something to eat it properly. It's fun and delicious, but you eat it easily. What is this?
Now, this man's supposed to be, he's really more Polish than Italian, by the way. But this man's supposed to be Italian, and he's complaining about, oh, you know, it's everything's too messy and this, that, and the third. Did your parents not teach you how to eat properly? Like he bitches about the silliest shit. He really does. Just complaining to hear himself talk. In some ways, just silly, just absolutely silly.
Hey, meme. You've got to be kidding me. People are now saying in stream chat, the whole I prefer a penne because it's easy to eat meme is because penne is how you say penis in Spanish. He said he prefers penne pasta, and penne pasta means penis in Spanish, so he likes penis pasta. What is an alleyway full of penne? So I said I like penis because it's easy to eat. That was good. Alleyway full of penne. God bless the Lord of penne. Yeah. Oh, loving out loud the way you say my name. It's finna not like a penis. Yeah, and that's why I'm not going to say your name anymore. The salty tears. Salty tears. Oh, you're going to get salt. It's, even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor. Because it's obvious that you're just trying to get me to say stuff on the stream that people will then just quote later and say, it's so funny. Phil said it. Yeah, I clipped it. Like a stupid 4-year-old on a playground. What's up?
Penne is my favorite pasta shape.
What?
You hear that fake laugh? You hear him trying so hard to make it seem something more than what it was? So sad. He can't even meme right. So sad. Yes. But this is the ways of Dave Bennett. These are the ways. Jesus Christ. You gotta use poor Lisa Simpson as your example. Wow. Just so sad. So sad.
Did you hear what he said?
Sounds like he was choking on some penne. Possibly.
Yeah, you're so mature with your humor. Friggin' idiot. Oh my god.
Shout out to a big bumbling black man who cheered. He says, you seem to be a lot more mature and relaxed when handling against insulting messages. Do you think it's because you become numb to all the BS? Is it because it's simply best to accept the negative attention helps with the business? No, I think, honestly, at this point, like, not much phases me anymore. I've heard so many things said about me, and sadly, there's so many dumb people who believe it, that I realize it doesn't matter what I say or do. Stupid people will just be stupid, and gullible people will be gullible, and people will always want to hurt me for no reason. Like, I just kind of resigned myself to that. I really don't believe that for the rest of my life, there will be a point in time when people aren't constantly trying to hurt me. Even if I were to quit YouTube completely, quit Twitch completely, get an offline job, there'll probably still be people who stalk me. People who still try to seek me out and try to, hurt me. I do believe that. Like, there's people who are that crazy and obsessed on the internet at this point for various reasons. So, at this point, it's like, whatever.
Someone please tell this young lady to pull her skirt down. Please. Pretty please. Okay? If you continue to treat yourself like a victim and act like one, then you'll always be one. Seriously. 36 years old, won't leave his house because he's scared to death. Scared to death of the very median that he's made his life. No one chose him to do this. The internet didn't choose Dave. Dave chose the internet. this is supposed to be success. I want you to think about that for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is supposed to be success. This is it. This is what he worked a decade for. To be in a house that he can't afford, praying to God in 5 years that it's worth enough so he can pull himself out of debt that he has now that's only going to accumulate over those next 5 years, which in turn might not even be able to cover the very debts that he's hoping and praying that it will cover. He has a girlfriend currently, or soulmate, or soulmate, who is, I don't want to call her a sheep, but is lacking to a degree for whatever reason. She fell under the, she drank the Kool-Aid way too early and drank way too much, and that went straight to her brain. He has a fan base that's slowly but surely turning against him. The one person that he had that was probably truly loyal to him, besides John, was probably Brightside, and he tossed him under the bus. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything because he's scared. That's why he does everything at night. You know what I mean? He never goes and gets his hair, like, for example, with his haircut. He never gets his hair cut during the day like normal people, or people who at least plan their day out properly. He has to go at night where he's not seen. So he doesn't even feel safe outside of the city that he loves so damn much. The man has no creativity, has no forethought, so his new girlfriend is only being taken around the same places that he took his old girlfriend. He has no vision for his business, so he wants to rehash playthroughs that he did damn near 10 years ago. And say that, oh, it's better now because I have direct caption and I have a webcam and the sound's a little better. But this is success, though. This is his success. This is what the internet has provided him. And this is what he fights for day in, day out. This is what he busts his ass for day in, day out. Remember that. It's going to be important. That's going to be important coming around the holidays. DSP News.
People are going to say stupid shit no matter what. And, you know, all I can do is try to maintain it so that the streams that I put out are entertaining, and it's not only about the negative shit that's said about me. I try to, you know, keep it to a minimum. You know, today, sadly, I had to ban like 4 people here on pre-stream who were acting like assholes in the stream chat and literally trying to derail the stream on purpose. And it is what it is. You know, that's how it is. That's my life from now on. But yeah, you know, am I numb to it? No, it does still hurt when stuff is said. But at the same time, it's not like the old... Remember the old days? The old me would literally go crazy every time, you know, oh, blah, 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 blah. I would go on a rant and rave and insult people constantly and everything. And I don't do that anymore because there's no point to doing it. No matter what, people are going to be doing this nasty negative shit. So there really is no reason to go crazy anymore. Alright, shout out to Lipjan who cheered. He says, how come you defend Twitch when it comes to people trolling you and they're bombarded with stuff as you said? Why can't you see it the same way when it comes to YouTube? Honest question. Well, because, well, here's the thing. The reason that so many people hate me on YouTube is because YouTube literally has set things in place to advertise drama and negative slanderous content. I could tell you for sure that people have reported these negative channels.
I really hate you, but I cannot live without you if I try. I can't imagine life without you, ice cream. You're so creamy.
But remember, ladies and gentlemen, Phil had no hand in that. Phil knew nothing about that. You know what I mean? Just like when Brightside Viking got when Brightside Viking got banned off Twitch. I don't know shit about that. That was on you. You did that on your own. I have no idea what happened with that. Same thing with this. He don't know what this is about. He doesn't understand why Snort, Burnell, Secret Life of DSP, myself, as well as a couple other videos ended up turning up that way. You know what I'm saying? He can't explain why I ended up becoming public enemy number 2, number 3, arguably number 4. You know, he knew nothing about that. That was out of his hands. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't let that stuff bother him. I mean, he lets it, well, it hurts him. It still hurts him, but he tries not to let that bother him. Whatever.
And I wish you never ended, ever.
that constantly steal my content and say slanderous and negative things against me as bullying, and the channels are still there. YouTube does not give a flaming fuck about people talking shit about others, making things up, and defaming them on their website. In fact, they promote it with their algorithms that push those videos to the top of the fucking heap, right? It's YouTube's fault that YouTube is a toxic fucking mess.
Twitch, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. Twitch actually wants their website to be something nice and positive. If someone is harassing you on Twitch, you could shut them down. Right now, if someone on Twitch was rebroadcasting my content, I could get them shut down within 10 minutes. Because Twitch actually cares. YouTube does not. YouTube is just an automated system run by robots, and they put no effort into actually making it a better place.
You know, I love Twitch. Twitch loves me.
So that more of that hug box mentality. Okay, so if someone is rebroadcasting Dave's stuff, they can be taken down within 10 minutes. Now, what happens if someone was merely in a discussion with maybe one or two other people talking about some of his antics? None of Dave's content is actually on screen. What if they're just having a conversation, a casual conversation? Oh, well, then all of a sudden they get reported for harassment. Huh. And that's funny because that's actually happened to somebody on Twitter. He's actually been hit with that twice. And I don't even know if he even was talking about Dave on any one of those streams that he had on Twitch. But he got hit for harassment twice. Huh. And he's well known in the detractor community. Or in detractor circles, if you will. Some people don't like using community. Sounds to me, that's the reason why he's holding on to that Twitch hug box as much as he can. Because he thinks he's safe. He thinks he's truly, truly safe. Even though he's not growing, he's not really progressing over there at all. But he doesn't have to hear about the detractors so much. So he feels like he's safe. And that's why he keeps an eye on what Tevin's doing. And so is the other little roaches that he has over there when Tevin broadcasts on Twitch. They have to keep an eye on him because if even Dave's name pops up, they can call harassment. They've tried to hit Tevin a couple times too. As well as a few other people. I gotcha. But see, like I said, Dave, one day, you're going to get kicked off Twitch. And guess what? You're going to have to come back to the Coliseum. You're going to have to come back to the gladiator pit. And there are going to be people waiting for you. Matter of fact, there'll be more people waiting for you now, well then, than there are now. I'm going to make sure of that. I hope you're looking forward to it. Because I sure am. As Medicare says, sometimes you just got to sit back and watch a good shit show. DSP News.
And my streams, because the bottom line is Twitch is a bad business. Twitch is not a good place to put out quality content. It's not. You are constantly nagged to advertise and or push subs or product so that you can make money, and they'll make money, they get profit from that, and then you get profit from that. They don't care about actual games. They don't care about what you put on your stream as long as this is coming into them. Twitch is all about subscriptions. You gotta subscribe, get those custom emotes and shit. Subscribe. That's why everyone over there is all about their subs.
Why would I go back to Twitch, where Twitch TV is literally a business model
based off of begging? I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit here and say, please buy this shirt, please subscribe, please do this, please sub, please thumbs up the video.
Now, when you see stuff like this, that little package that you just saw there that Snort Burnell so generously has provided all of us, how could you ever take Dave seriously? Think about that for a minute. How could you ever take this man seriously when everything he says he goes back on? He doesn't value his family. He doesn't value his friends. He doesn't value his viewership, the supposed internet fans, if you want to say, his cult members, the people he acts as the dox people, the people he acts as to have people hacked, the people who give him money. He doesn't value any of those people. Jesus Christ, he doesn't value his girlfriend. He doesn't even value his word. And if a man doesn't have his word, he doesn't have anything. But yet, people feel the need to defend him. People feel the need to, and don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying, I don't wish destitution on this man or anything like that, but people still feel the need to defend him. To keep him in a nice little spot, a nice little warm place, so he can continue to prosper. But yet he's not willing to work for it. He wants it to be handed to him. He wants someone else to do the work on his behalf, and then he collect. Okay. It's not okay. But okay. For now.
My other channels, please, when do you ever hear me talking like that in a video? Well, let's see. So basically, if you're a racist, bigoted asshole who constantly says insulting things on the stream to get a rise, or if you're a no content, no life, no worth titty streamer whose only value in life is showing off your body for money, basically you're a whore. Oh no, you can't make a living on Twitch anymore. Oh,
you kiss your mother with that mouth? Oh, that's right. You haven't seen your mother in like 4 years. Gotcha. The more you know.
I slip up and I screw up again, and all of a sudden a message pops up and appears in my stream chat. This account has been suspended from Twitch. The men have titties too. Harry Mrhuth, I know you're only here for the titties, so since you can't see my titties anymore, I know I'm gonna probably, lose probably about half my viewership. Sorry guys, no more tits.
They just care about, the money. Well, over here, they actually want a legitimate business where people can have positive experiences, which is why, if you haven't noticed, recently they've been cleaning up the site. People who do these nasty
pig roach
drama toxic streams are being banned or suspended. They're changing for the better. I fully support Twitch. I really do. Alright. It really is annoying. I'll be honest with you guys, it is. It's annoying when I gotta hear about how Phil does incredibly long pre-streams. No one else does this. Everyone else does this. Everyone else interacts with their viewers. The difference is a lot of people do it. They would boot the game up first.
Okay, first things first. And I've spoken about this before. Tevin has spoken about this. A lot of people have spoken about this. Most people, when they start a stream, it varies from person to person, but I'm going to say at least the people that I've watched, it's usually anywhere from about 15 to 20 minutes. The stream comes on, you hear some music in the background, nice and cool, nothing big. The streamer will come up and make an announcement. Hey guys, I'm just trying to get things together. I'll have everything ready in, another 10 minutes or so. And then, I'll talk to you guys for a minute and then we'll get into the stream. And usually it happens just as I've laid it out. Some people even show up just a little bit earlier and they're like, all right guys, this is what we're playing. And then I might take some fan recommendations. Maybe we'll do some open lobbies. Sound good? Sound good? Sounds great. And then bam, they get into it. Nobody starts a stream and then spills their life story day in, day out for an hour and then goes into some half-ass gameplay where they're yawning, they're bored, they're complaining about the game, they're complaining that the chat's not helping them. Nobody does that. It is really just him. It really is. He is very much alone on that. And how dare he say that, oh, everybody does this when he doesn't watch other streamers? So how would he know that? Wink, wink.
An hour of interaction in the game, and then the game would just suffer for it. There would be no focusing on the game, the gameplay would suck, and everyone would complain if I did that, and say, Phil, for the first hour of your stream, all you did was talk to people, and you didn't really make any progress.
Your YouTube videos suck now. Like I said, I've said this in a previous video, the first five parts of a playthrough is usually him setting the game up, going through controls, complaining about how it isn't brain dead easy, and whatnot. Looking at the chat, getting donations of people saying, "Oh, new game hype, this, that, and the third," and then you get into the actual gameplay. That pretty much sums up the first 5 videos, maybe the first 3, if I was to be generous. So where's that quality content at, Dave? Really, where's that quality content?
In the game, why did you do that? The gameplay sucks now, especially if I'm watching it on YouTube. This playthrough is terrible. So I get out of the way so we can jump into the gameplay, and now people complain the pre-stream's too long. You can't have it both ways, you know? And what it is, again, it's not legit. It's not legit criticism. It's people hiding under the guise of legit criticism, just coming out to talk shit about me like usual. It's happened for 10 fucking years, and I know the deal, so.
Help! Save the pig! What the heck? A pig with a party hat. Hello, Mr. Piggy. You sick piggy. Save the pig, the game. The whole game you're trying to save the pig's life. Help! What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the end of that. So, as I've said, give Phil enough time, give him enough rope, and he'll hang himself, which is what he's done as it pertains to the finally admitting that the forums were hacked, that everybody that's on there is vulnerable, which you are. If you are a Dave fan, if you are registered to his forum, you are fucked. Royally. Good luck with that. And I mean that. You are royally fucked. And this man sat there and lied to you so he could stay face, dropped his sergeant in arms so he could stay face, only for, I don't know, 5-6 months later to finally admit that, you know what, shit went south over there and we got hacked. But yet you guys defended him, though. Tooth and nail. Oh, we didn't get hacked. We didn't get hacked. Dave said we didn't. We're fine. And it's funny how when the people who were actually believing it, being like, "Hey man, how do I get off here? How do I want to go ahead and deactivate my account? How do I do that? Where are you going? Why are you leaving, man? Don't let those guys over there tell you that shit. It's a lie, man. Everything's okay over here." There are archives of that. Plenty of people talking about, man, I want off this website, or I want off this forum. I'm done. Okay, this is bullshit. If Dave can't control these people and whatnot, and they're gonna go off and pull this dumb shit, I don't want to be here. And now I'm scared that I'm vulnerable. Oh, you're not vulnerable, man. It's all bullshit. It's all hearsay. It sounds like they're pretty vulnerable now. So, there you go. You know what I mean? There you go. And if you want, you guys can tell me what flavor was that Kool-Aid in the comment section. In the comments section, sorry. I'd like to know. Hope it was delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. I am your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. End the broadcast. Oh my god. I can see why they call me Nostradamus, man. This is scary. Just absolutely scary. Would it have been that hard to just tell them the truth? Jesus.